is it?
What's up, guys? It is Shane Scott, finally back. I know it's been a while. Let me quick update on where I've been. Basically, my computer exploded on me and it just stopped working. I tried, searching up any kind of way I could get it back to work. Nothing worked, so I ended up taking it into Apple, and they were like, "Yeah, something's messed up with your hard drive." So they had to take it in so they could fix all that. It took about maybe a week to fix, and they told me they'd email me once it was ready to pick up. But the day they emailed me, I was on a flight to go to Texas for about a week. So it's been ready to pick up for a while, but I wasn't able to pick it up. I just got back. Now I finally picked it up. Everything's working great again, and we're back to videos. I got a big week coming up for you guys. If you guys follow my Instagram, you would have seen I posted a schedule for this week. If you don't follow my Instagram, that's okay. You can follow it. It's Shane Scott 9. I'll leave that down in the description. And yeah, follow my Instagram. I post updates for any videos whenever I post a new video, anything like that, so you guys can keep up to date with what's going on with me. But for my first video in this crazy week that I'm going to be having for you guys, we are finally getting the third weekend review episode. It's not the weekend right now, but there's been a few weekends since I've posted another one, so I'm just going to kind of go over everything since I last made a weekend review, which it's a lot, but I decided to cut some of it out and even give them their own videos, which you'll see later on in the week. So it's not completely everything. I don't want this video to be 30 minutes, and I might kind of brush through some of the things I talk about in this video a little quicker than usual. That's because I don't want a super long video, and plus I put some other things for separate videos. I have a movie review that I wasn't planning on doing a full review for, but now I'm doing it. And I'm going to do an NBA draft review that I also wasn't planning on doing, but that's all for a few days from now. We're going to get started with this, and we're going to start with all the movies that I have watched. Starting with Seven, I watched that for the first time, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It's a super intense movie, and the storyline is so elaborate and so just the investigation is so elaborate. I loved it. The whole twist at the end, I won't spoil anything, of course, but if you have not seen the movie, make sure you do it because there was a crazy twist at the end, and it's just overall fantastic movie. And that same day I ended up watching Fight Club because I guess I was in a David Fincher mood that day, but I ended up watching Fight Club, and I loved that even more than I liked Seven. I really enjoyed Fight Club. The twist in that is even better than the Seven twist. And I gotta say, both those movies, Seven and Fight Club, I highly recommend because I enjoyed both of them so much. And I'm starting to think now that I really like David Fincher because I've only seen those two and The Social Network, and The Social Network is one of my favorite movies ever. So I'm starting to think, well, I need to watch some more David Fincher movies, but I'm definitely gonna get on that eventually. Moving on, I watched the new Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and going in, I had very low expectations, and it wasn't as bad as I expected. I will give it that. It wasn't a great movie or anything, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't cringy as I expected going in, and I was happy with it. I enjoyed myself. Uh, Another movie I went to go see in theaters was A Quiet Place, which I really enjoyed, and I'm a huge fan of John Krasinski because I love The Office. So I really was so surprised by this being his first movie because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very cool story, very fun story, heartwarming, things like that. And the way they use sound in the movie, I just think is so cool. It is its own character in that movie. But just overall, great story, great movie. If you have not seen it, make sure you check out A Quiet Place. I also watched the movie My Friend Dahmer about the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, and it was pretty solid. The main thing that I took from it is Ross Lynch's performance in it as Jeffrey Dahmer, which, this kid, not all Disney stars grow up and, get big or even have successful careers after they get off Disney, but Ross Lynch surprised the hell out of me with this role. I mean, that was the one thing I took from this movie is just how good he did in this movie. I was blown away by his performance. That's what made me enjoy the movie so much was Ross Lynch as Jeffrey Dahmer. But that's a fun movie to check out if you're, I guess, into those kind of things. I don't know. It was kind of weird, but what would you expect from a movie about a serial killer? But anyway, moving on, I also went to go see Tag in theaters, which was a very, very fun movie. I enjoyed that a lot. And obviously, it's not the perfect comedy movie, anything like that. Not all of the comedy lands, which is expected with any comedy movie. But it was a very enjoyable movie, and the story was a lot more heartwarming than I would expect. And it was cool, like at the end, they show some of the clips from like the real guys. So overall, it's just a really fun movie. I definitely recommend it. I liked it a lot, and I was really expecting it to be a lot worse than it was. Just the same with Jumanji, but this is much better than Jumanji. And last movie, I've watched Borat for the first time, which is definitely one of the funniest movies I have ever seen. I was cracking up so many points, and it makes it even better the fact that all these things he's doing in the movie, like the people around him are not actors, like he's doing all this weird goofy stuff around real people and you're like getting their actual reactions. Makes the movie so much funnier. Just overall, I really enjoyed that. But those are the movies I watched. If you've seen any of them, if you have any opinions, if you didn't like it, anything like that with any of those movies I just talked about, let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of them. I want to hear what you guys got to say about that. Moving on to TV shows, as I said, none of my TV shows, well, not as I said, but none of my TV shows are on right now. But I am trying to get caught up on Arrow because I watched all the way up to season 5, but I never watched season 6. So I'm getting caught up on that now. And I've been watching season 6. I just started it. I'm a few episodes in. But hopefully by the time season 7 comes out, I'll be caught up. I mean, I imagine I will. That's a long time from now. But I'll be caught up on Arrow so I can start adding that to the TV shows that I review, things like that. But yeah, watching Arrow season 6 right now. Excuse me. Now moving on to sports. We had some big sports stuff. I'm not going to go through it game by game like I did in previous videos because that's a lot at this point. But we had the NBA Finals wrap up. No surprise here. Golden State swept the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-0. Kevin Durant won Finals MVP, averaging 28.8 points. Just stole it from Steph, who averaged about 27 points. And he had a good Finals, except I think it was Game 3. He just completely crapped the bed. Just did not play good at all. LeBron, tried to put the team on his back. He averaged 34 throughout the Finals, but he wasn't able to do it. And, you don't blame him. He didn't have a lot of help for one, and that Golden State team is just insane. And it's just like, there's not much anyone can do against that team, But now the big news with the NBA is, where is LeBron going next? Because I just can't imagine him staying there in Cleveland because they're not, bringing anyone in. The only accusation, I guess, I'm guessing the only big accusation they're going to make is drafting Colin Sexton is going to be the biggest player they bring in this offseason. So I doubt he ends up staying. He's going to want to go somewhere where he can win a championship, win a few more before he ends up retiring, because he's getting to the end of his career, and it's just he can't just keep losing in the finals. People are going to start trashing him for that, which I don't think is warranted. Look at the team he's playing. It's kind of like, I don't think you put anyone in LeBron's place, they will not beat these Warriors. So it's not like, I'm holding it against him, but there are people that do, which kind of sucks. But that's whatever. We'll see where LeBron goes from here. Now moving on to the NHL, we had the Stanley Cup Finals, and Washington won the series 4-1 after going down 1-0. They won 4 straight. Alex Ovechkin won the MVP for that. He had 5 total points in the finals. A great performance by Washington. I'm kind of bummed because I did want Vegas to win, but Alex Ovechkin, he definitely deserves the Stanley Cup. He's been holding it down for Washington for years now, and he's not been able to win. Finally brings one home to Washington, so shout out to you guys. You guys had a great season, a great series. Shout out to Vegas as well, because their first season they were able to make to the finals. That's insane. Hopefully it's not a fluke. I kind of have a feeling it might be, but we'll see going on to next season. But shout out to both teams. You guys had great years, and it was very exciting to watch. Now moving on to the NBA draft, which I'm just going to touch on a little bit, the top first 5 picks. I'm not going to go into any detail, but with number 1, the Phoenix Suns get their big man in DeAndre Ayton. He gets to stay at home. He went to college in Arizona. So they get the big guy with the number 1 overall pick. And with the number 2 pick, the next big guy, Marvin Bagley III, goes to Sacramento. So this draft was a lot of big men. This was a huge draft size-wise. And it was a very deep draft as well. A lot of talented players in this draft. You couldn't go wrong with maybe the first 10, 15 maybe picks. You were getting a good athlete for your team. So a very deep draft. And over at 3rd, there was a trade. Basically, the Mavs and the Atlanta Hawks traded. Mavs gave away their 5th pick and a future first for the 3rd pick. And the Atlanta Hawks moved back to the 5th. And the Mavs drafted Luka Doncic, the guard from Real Madrid, so a European. And I think he's going to have a huge impact. I'm super hyped about that. Him and Dennis Smith playing together is going to be super fun. And especially with Dirk mentoring him, and I believe this is probably Dirk's last season, but Dirk mentoring him in his last year, that's going to be good for Luka. And hopefully that's going to start the rebuild or continue the rebuild for the Mavs. And I'm excited about the Luka Doncic pick. With the fourth pick, the Memphis Grizzlies took the power forward Jaren Jackson Jr., JJJ, from Michigan State. Another big man. He's going to be able to impact for Memphis right off the bat. A good pick for them. And with the fifth pick, Atlanta Hawks, after trading with Dallas, they took guard Trae Young from Oklahoma, who I was very surprised to see that go that early, honestly. I don't think he's a bad player. I just thought he would go later, maybe around 7, 8, 9, something like that. But that's the top five. A very fun draft. A lot of trades going on later on in the first and second round, too. But I do have a full Mavericks draft review coming up in a few days. But that's going to do it for my weekend review, the third episode. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought about any of the previous things I just talked about. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you are new, please subscribe. That is all. I will see you guys next time.